there everybody, I'm Elizabeth Hines from Total Wellness Health Coaching and the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club. Welcome to my kitchen. I cook paleo recipes, grain-free, dairy-free, soy-free, refined sugar-free, all that kind of stuff to manage our autoimmune disease. And so I come to you every week with either a tour of my garden, which I'm keeping going year-round. We do that once a month, and then the other 3 weeks I have a recipe for you from my kitchen. And I do lots of Instant Pot recipes, the pressure cooker, sometimes just some kind of regular recipe on the stove. And I've just gotten this Instant Pot Vortex Plus air fryer, and I am loving it. And so I have been doing lots and lots of experimentation with it. This one, it's big. They're all big, you know, but if you're going to get something, you might as well be able to use it right. The little tiny ones that have the little small baskets, I think if you were 1 or 2 people, then those could be valuable. But I loved this square shape of this one, and it holds a lot. And so I have really been enjoying it. And tonight, we're going to enjoy some fried flounder. So it's going to be paleo fried. I'll tell you what my flours are and such, so we keep it not just gluten-free, but completely grain-free, and it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my air fryer on so it can be heating up. So I'm going to push air fry. For time, I want only 5 minutes, and for temp, I want 400. Because I have flounder tonight, it is pretty thin, and it will cook really quickly. So I have my flounder fillets. These were frozen, the frozen ones from Costco, and I just took them out of their packages. Each fillet was individually wrapped in a little package, and I took them out and laid them between these paper towels so that I could get some of the moisture off. Okay, so I'm going to do a 3-step breading, which will help my breading to stick, for one thing, and get a nice crispy coating and taste good. And I put a little salt, a little black pepper, and some Old Bay seasoning in each step of my breading. I have 6 fillets. I have a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 teenagers. Sometimes my teenagers eat like toddlers, and sometimes they eat like lumberjacks. So I try to always have enough, because we can always have leftovers, right? So I did 6 fillets tonight. These are fairly small. So this is just arrowroot with seasoning. This one is egg. I just beat it up really, really well with a couple tablespoons of almond milk. And then this one is equal parts almond flour, cassava flour, and arrowroot. So with paleo baking or cooking, we do a lot with nut flours, but with frying, the nut flours tend to burn. Now with the air fryer, it's a little bit different. We have a little more flexibility isn't the right word, but it's not going to burn the same as it would in a skillet on the stove. But even still, I have gotten to the point where if I fried something on my stovetop, I wouldn't use any almond flour, because it burns so quickly before it's even ready, before it's cooked through. So I quit using my nut flours for stovetop frying. In the air fryer, it's a little bit different, but I still don't want to use all almond flour. Okay, so it's telling me to add food, so I need to wipe my hands. Now this is of course washable. I could have certainly just pulled it open with my dirty hands, but I didn't want to. And I'm going to do one more. These are the 3 skinnier ones. I think I can get all 3 of these in together, and then the other 3, I don't know that I'll be able to get 3 in. We'll see. And I'm going to spray the tops pretty liberally. I sprayed the basket. I'm going to spray the top too with that avocado oil spray. Okay, and while those are going, this one's dry. So this will be my wet hand. I'll go ahead and just spread the rest because it's going to be super fast. I turn my oven on 200 so that I can keep my fish warm between batches. And also, I can't remember the order in which these videos are going to go up, but I made sweet potato fritters in my air fryer earlier today. They're for dinner tonight too, and so I have them in the oven heating up. Because this one's almost empty, it had dry in it, I'll go ahead and transfer this breaded filet. Yeah, this one's pretty big. I'm only going to get, I think, 2 of those in at a time, but that's okay. So why air fryer instead of doing this on your stove or even like an oven fry? Well, compared to the oven, this is way, way, way faster. It heats up to 400 degrees in a minute to 2 minutes max. And then with my oven, it's going to take probably 10 minutes to get up to 400 degrees, and then it's going to stay hot for a long time. So in the summer, I don't want my kitchen heated to 400 degrees for an hour, okay? So that's one great thing about it. Another great thing about this compared to like how I might cook this on the stovetop, like I said, I can use some almond flour, which I prefer for the flavor and the nutrition profile. And if I do that on the stove, it will burn. And then I've got to stand there the whole time, and I've got to flip it and turn it this way and that, and turn my skillet around and babysit it, and it's going to pop. No matter how careful you are, no matter what you do, those splatter screens, I don't think they really work. If you are frying something on your stove, you're going to end up with oil kind of all over the place. And as you know, I like things to be neat and tidy, so I'm not a big fan of messiness, but we do like a fried treat from time to time. So it's neater, it's faster, and it does not heat up my kitchen. So this particular model is the Instant Pot Vortex Plus 6-in-1, and it was $119. So it's early October. I went ahead and bought it because it's before Black Friday, it's before Amazon's Prime Day, and I really think that some air fryers are going to be on sale around this time of year. And I don't have the funds to buy a whole bunch and review all of them for you, but I did a lot of research before I chose one, and my research pointed to this model. One thing I really wanted my air fryer to do was dehydrate, and this particular model has that dehydrate function. My oven only goes as low as 200 degrees, and this, I believe it's 95 is the dehydrate. I can actually push it when I'm done with the fish, and we'll see what it says. It's just like a preset time and temp. But this one got great reviews, and so I pulled the trigger, paid full price for it, hoping that maybe it'll be on sale, and you'll watch my videos and you'll decide, hey, I want that one too, and then it'll be on sale for you, which would be great. But I have space to store it. I don't have a huge pantry, but it has enough like space on that top shelf that I can fit it in there. And I have teenagers who are now starting to cook for themselves some. I thought this would be a great thing for them to use. So anyway, lots of reasons. I decided to give it a try. Okay, so I need to turn my food, and I just want to check it. I may turn it and I may not. It is a little bit harder to video the air fryer. Okay, can you see what that's looking like? It's getting a little bit brown. I want to flip it. Ooh, it has a nice crust. I'm gonna, a little bit more oil, just because I want it to be completely coated. I want it to look like fried fish in the end. So I'm gonna want it just another minute, I think, to crisp that up. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I thought that air fryers, you like poured oil into them and then they kind of like spun it around, you know, and basically fried your food instead of being deep fried, like submerged in the oil. it just was like bathing them in this oil spray. But in fact, that's not what you do. You're not actually supposed to pour any liquid in there. It's just a convection oven, essentially. It's small, so it's contained. It heats up fast. It cools off fast. I'm going to want to add another minute. So I did 5 minutes. All right, so I want to air fry. What's time? I'm going to do 2 more minutes. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, there's a heating element and then there's a fan. So it's blowing the hot air around. So I have sprayed the bottom of my basket and then I spray the top of the food, as you saw me do, to help get that sort of fried effect. While that's going for a couple more minutes, I'm going to get out my other stuff to show you what we're having with this tonight. Okay, I know it's done and I don't want to overcook my fish. So it didn't get quite as browned on top as I wanted. So what I'm going to do is, for this next one, I'm actually going to turn up the temperature. Can we get all 3 of these in? Oh yeah, I can. This one is about empty. But I have a new one. This is avocado oil spray. There we go. Just had to break through the little seal. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to air fry. And I want... Come on. It's mad at me. Okay. Oh, 4 is the highest. Okay. All right, you say so. I have to taste it, right? Ooh, look how pretty that looks. See, the breading it stayed together. It's not just falling apart. It's so good. I haven't had flounder at home in ages. It didn't get quite as brown as I wanted. But that's okay. It's crispy, it's done, and tastes great. So I'm going to stick this in my 200-degree oven to stay warm. So I have more of this fish in my freezer, and I had a little bit of breading left over, and so I'm just going to stick it in the fridge, and I'll be able to use this the next time I make my fish. So I just label it fish, so I know that I breaded fish with this. It's seasoned for fish. If I am breading chicken, I do the same thing. It's okay to save it and reuse it as long as you're going to be cooking it to a high enough temperature. You wouldn't want to, I don't know, eat your breading raw after you've put it on raw chicken, but who would eat breading? That would be a weird thing. So it's okay to save it. All these paleo flours are expensive, and so I try to be a little bit frugal. All right, so let me show you the rest of our dinner. It's not fancy. If you thought it was going to be fancy, I'm sorry. This is coleslaw, which is just cabbage. I didn't put anything else in it, and I just chopped up a head of cabbage, which is part of a head of cabbage. And I make a dressing out of mayonnaise, some apple cider vinegar, something else. So I have my zucchini relish that I make in the summertime. I put some of that in there, which adds a little bit of sweetness and, of course, flavor. It has onions and peppers and zucchini. I put a little bit of ketchup in this one because I did that one time. I can't remember why I did it, but it was super good, so that adds a little bit of sweetness. It's just the sweetness instead of adding honey or maple syrup, something like that, and some salt and pepper. And so I just mix it up, and that's our slaw. And then I have tartar sauce. So this is mayonnaise, dill, lemon juice, and some chopped up dill pickles, and a little bit of dill pickle juice just to thin it out a little bit more. So we've got our slaw, tartar sauce. I'm going to flip my fish, even though it doesn't tell me. Oh no, I did 6 minutes, so I'm going to wait till it's at 3, halfway, and then I'll flip it. My children won't eat coleslaw because they're weird, so I just have some salad greens for them. This is a salad my son brought home from work, which somebody ate the cherry tomatoes out of it. It has bacon bits and cheese, carrots, and some lettuce, so somebody will eat that. Alright, I'm going to give these a flip. How nice they look. So pretty. They've shrunk up a little bit, so I have a little bit more space. Okay, let me just spray this back side so it gets that fried essence to it. Okay, back in it goes. Actually, that one needs a touch more. There we go. So another thing about this particular model of air fryer is that it is very easy to clean. This basket comes out. You can put it in the sink if you have something that's kind of stuck on there. Just get your hot soapy water in there and soak it. Don't scrub it because it's a non-stick coating. But I haven't had any trouble everything just washing right out. Even the grate, the tray at the bottom, has cleaned up really easily. So I appreciate it for that. I don't have anything negative to say about it, honestly. If I had to, if we're doing pros and cons, if I had to give a con list, I would just say it's big. So if you don't want it sitting on your counter and you don't have a pantry or a cabinet with some space, then you're going to need to store it in a closet someplace or your attic, or it's big, so you need to have a place for it, or just be happy with it sitting on your counter. But aside from that, I don't have anything negative to say. I just want to address again the smell. Lots and lots and lots. I watched lots of reviews, I read lots of reviews, and the most common complaint I saw was, oh, it has this horrible chemical burned plastic smell. And I read the instructions, very scant, not many instructions. I don't usually read instruction manuals. I read the whole thing, cover to cover, all the English parts, and it steps you through like 8 pages of it or something, is how to turn it on, get all the packaging out first, of course, turn it on, and run it at 400 for 20 minutes. So there's some like finishing chemical on there. Even water's a chemical, so chemical isn't necessarily a bad word. And so they want you to run it for 20 minutes with no food in it. And I did that, and it smelled. I mean, it smelled horrible. We didn't feel like, oh, we got to get out of the house. But I opened the door, and it dissipated, and it was fine. My husband was editing that video, and he put a little comment that said, I suggest you do this outside. Sure, do it outside. Plug it in on your driveway or something and let it run that first 20 minutes outside, and then you won't have that smell in your house. But it wasn't an issue. Yes, there was a smell. It wasn't terrible. It was only that very first time. I didn't have any food in there, and then it went away, and it's been fine. So don't let that deter you. Another thing is, it is hot. They have all these warnings about don't burn yourself. So be careful. Don't burn yourself. There's a vent in the back, and that's where the hot air vents out, so that's going to be the hottest part. But even right here, it's not hot. It's like if you were cold, you would want to put your hands on this. It feels good. The top is warm-ish. I mean, it's not even, I wouldn't even call it warm, honestly. It seems like this would be a nice little warming plate, but they tell you not to put anything up here, so don't put anything up there. One of my sweet viewers said, be careful, like if you have, maybe you did French fries, something that you're just going to want to dump out into a serving bowl or a serving plate. This tray, I'm going to try to get it with my tongs. I had a hard time doing that before. This tray is loose, and it will just come out. So if you just dump it, this tray will fall out. But it just lifts out very easily to clean. Alright, let me get this out of the way so I can show you my dinner. Okay, here's the rest. I made these sweet potato fritters in the air fryer earlier today. So let's make my husband a nice serving, okay? There's a nice big piece of fish. He loves the coleslaw. We'll give him a big serving of coleslaw. And a couple of these sweet potato fritters, which aren't particularly orange because I made them with Japanese sweet potatoes, which are white. And he will want some tartar sauce. You know what, I'm just going to put it on top because he'll want it that way. I need a lemon slice, or I need some parsley or something, because it's this is all very beige, especially with my white sweet potatoes. But that was it. So we ended up doing 400 for 6 minutes, and they're not as like browned and golden brown fry looking as I would like. Partly that's the flours that I've used, being the Paleo flours. So, and it's also because this is a thin piece of fish and it cooked very quickly. So if you were, say, using this exact same method, exact same recipe with a boneless, skinless chicken breast that was thicker, it would need to be in there longer to cook all the way through, and so it would get more brown. Okay, but it's cooked and it's tasting great. And if you just want more of that golden color, you could add some paprika or some turmeric to your seasoning blend. It would taste great, and it would add a little more of that golden hue. So that's it for, I don't know, my 4th or 5th video now on the air fryer. I've had it for less than a week, but I'm using it all the time because I love it. So fried flounder tonight. You could use any fish that you like or have on hand. And there's another video with the sweet potato fritters, so seek that one out. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you're new here, please leave a comment. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. Introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, why you're here. We're a really nice community. People are generally very helpful and kind and respectful, and I try to generate that type of community here. I publish a recipe video just about every single week, so keep on coming back. If you like this, please subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. And that's it. Go out and have a great day. Have a great dinner. I hope that I've shown you that good food can be good for you. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.